Well, greetings, faithful followers. This is your old pal, Brother Jack Angry, bringing you another edition of Movie Night Live from Monastery Mayhem.
It's the Angry Brothers on my heart, Shakarama. It's the Angry Brothers on my heart, Shakarama.
Well, greetings, faithful followers. This is your old pal, Brother Jack Angry, bringing you another edition of Movie Night Live from Monastery Mayhem.
It's the Angry Brothers on
Well, greetings, faithful followers. I'm Brother Jack Angry, along with Countess Boobula, and we're with the Angry Brothers Omaha Shakarama. Myself, Brother James, the Countess, Inferno, and the rest of the gang want to welcome you to Chop Block's Horror Network. And remember, friends, let's keep America on top. Watch Horror Host, y'all. And you can do that on Chop Block. Anything you'd like to add, Countess?
Well, it seems like being spooky is in style these days.
So, good night and unpleasant dreams.
Sweet nightmares.
Well, greetings, faithful followers. This is your old pal, Brother Jack Angry. Well, greetings, faithful followers. I'm Brother Jack Angry, along with Dawn Duvurger.
Hello.
And the Countess Boobula. And we want to throw a big shout out to our friends at After Hours Cinema and WGUD in Pascagoula, Mississippi. Thanks for all your support. Keep up the great work and keep those B movies rolling, Lee.
No.
All right. Well, greetings, faithful followers. I'm Brother Jack Angry. Welcome to another edition of the Angry Brothers Omaha Shakarama, live from the Monastery of Mayhem, deep in the bowels of Omaha, Nebraska. Our guests again are myself, the lovely Countess Boobula, and our guest Dawn Duvurger is continuing her retrospect of some of her best films. And
I'm a glutton for punishment.
well, yes, but from what I understand, you can dish it out as well as take it.
Little old me.
And that's not what I've heard, dear. You know, definitely like taking people down a peg, if you get my meaning.
We all must have hobbies.
Yes, there we go. And yes, it's like Omaha, unfortunately, Brother Jack has a hard time indulging his hobbies, so that's why I do this.
And that's why I live by New Orleans.
And it's like, yes, Brother Jack needs to find his way down there like ASAP.
Yeah, you'll never come back.
That's right. See ya, Omaha. Been nice knowing you. That's right, yes. I know, it's like we're going to have to arrange a road trip. I think I'm going to have to get all the usual suspects together, and me and Brother James and the Countess are going to have to hit the Big Easy along with a good friend of our show, Charles Moissant.
Oh, I kidnap him regularly. He's a glutton for punishment, too.
Yes.
And let's face it, you'll fit right in. It's hot as hell.
Well, that's it. And we need to go, we need to actually shoot a movie down there, you know. It's like, yes. Okay, Sanji's doing this dance with horns on his head, and yes.
I said get him clothes. I didn't mean a Viking helmet.
It's like, it's like, yes, it's like, sorry, he's pretending he's Thor, you know. Grab the hammer and be Thor. Are you Thor yet?
That's not Mjolnir. No.
Mjolnir, yeah, it's like.
Maybe Sting from, Lord of the Rings.
There you go. It's like, well, it's like, yeah, you want to be careful where you go, or else you're going to end up stinging when you go to the bathroom, but that's a whole other story. But anyway, so, all right, Dawn, now tonight's movie we're focusing on zombie pirates. What can you tell us about that?
Not a lot. I was not around for the majority of it. I'm just the alibi, literally. I'm the alibi for the, young lady who gets in all kinds of trouble.
Well, yes, you are, but you played that part very well. It was very believable, the way you interacted.
I may have had some practice being an alibi.
A little practice in throwing the police off. It's like we've all been there, but so your portion of the filming, I mean, you worked with the actor who played the police detective.
Yes.
And did you work with the female lead in it?
No, I was ambushed for that acting role.
Okay, so why don't you tell us about that?
I just got out of class. I had gone back to college, as I said. And next thing I know, I get a phone call of, "Can you come to my house?" Okay. So I rush over to Steve's house. I have no idea what's going on.
And this was done by Steve Sessions.
Yes. And he's like, "All right." And he hands me the script. I'm like, "Hey." And so I figured it out real quick. And then I had about 30 minutes to prepare. And went ahead and went in there, and I was the alibi.
So that was basically a drive-by audition. You got over to his house and you got the part.
It was ambush. It was definitely ambush tactics.
When Brother Jack gets those kind of phone calls, it's usually somebody wanting to Netflix and chill, but, you know, it's like...
But I told him, and his offer still stands. Steve needs me for something. All he has to do is call.
Well, we're familiar with a lot of Steve's work, and it's high-quality work, and he's an excellent director.
He knows what he wants to do, and he gets it done.
He does a lot with the soundtracks for the scores for
he makes his own music for most of it.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. And
he studied the classic cinema tactics and the music and the atmosphere. He's actually done a lot of homework before he started on it.
Well, actually, to throw this out here, and this is another good friend of the show, Steve Sessions has done the musical scores for many of Joe Sherlock's films. I believe he did one for The Drifter and Odd Noggins, if I'm not mistaken. Also, both great films. You know, you're going to be seeing.
And you'll be showing them, right?
Yes, we will be showing them. We will be
because
featured.
you need to promote Joe Sherlock's work so the rest of the world can hear it.
Yes, Joe Sherlock is definitely a man after Brother Jack's own heart. You know, the action is bloody, the women are hot. You know, it's like several scenes of people having sex in hot tubs. You gotta love that. You know, it's like yes and. Well, it's like even his MILF actresses are very, very attractive.
So I'm
Christy
seeing
Bryn.
that you're hungry because you're wanting milk and nut soup. So are you a health fanatic?
Yeah, at my age, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing to do but be healthy. It's like I've done everything else that I could do otherwise. It's
Would that be bone broth?
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, bone broth. I've had that stuff. I've had bone broth soup, and that stuff is nasty.
I'm not surprised.
It's I gave some to a friend of mine at work. He called it trash. He said this soup is trash. You know, it's like, well, don't mince words. What do you really think, Rob? But anyway, no. Zombie Pirates. Now that movie was not. It was a complete storyline. It wasn't an anthology. It was about literally a group of a zombie pirate, or was it more than one?
Well,
was it multiple?
One of the reasons that wasn't an anthology is because of Eric Spudik. He was a big sponsor of it. He was a big contributor to it, and he and Steve worked together on it. So that's why it has a different flavor from Steve's other movies.
Okay. And Spudik, I remember that name. He starred in it, didn't he? Or?
Yeah, and Eric Spudik has been a huge supporter of a lot of Steve's work. He's been a huge supporter of a lot of people's work. He is one of the people to know in indie horror.
All right, well that's definitely excellent. Now, as you said, that was a different flavor. What was different about it?
Other than it wasn't an anthology, the feel was different and stuff because it was a collaboration as much as that's the best way to put it. It's collaboration. So you had two minds working on it, not just one. It was Steve was the mastermind, but you also had Eric helping shape the formation of it. So if you look at different movies from different people, you find sometimes not just the cast, but the contributors help shape the film a bit.
Okay. Well, that's excellent.
So let that be a lesson. Always be careful who you ask for help.
Well, that's it. You know, it's like,
it could be bad.
Help will come from the strangest places sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But Countess, now you've watched a lot of Dawn's films. What did you think of Zombie Pirates?
It was definitely a different feel. I want to say, I guess the work on the zombies was really well done. I was waiting for them to talk though.
Oh, but the parrot. The parrot, that poor parrot. Oh, the parrot.
Okay, you're going to have to refresh my memory as far as the parrot goes.
It's wood.
It's wood. The parrot is wood? Okay.
And I'm not talking happy parrot. I'm talking the parrot was wood.
Oh my God.
I
A wooden,
didn't
The
notice
poor
the
parrot.
a wooden parrot.
Of course you didn't notice. Dawn French had her.
Oh, that's the name I was
And
thinking of.
nobody
Dawn.
was looking at the parrot. They were just like, black bra.
It's like Dawn French. That was the name, yes. And I remember the black bra. It's like
Everyone remembers the black bra.
And what's that? Ooh, what's that sound? It's the blood draining out of our brains to another part of our body.
What
You know.
can I say? Tasty tidbits.
Yes, the tasty tidbits. And God love you, Countess.
They were a bit jiggly.
Well, yes, nothing wrong with jiggly.
No, there was nothing wrong with it at all. It was just, she was struggling and,
Yes, it's like it. Every guy's all
so
over
it's
there
like,
like
parrot,
this.
what parrot? Zombie.
Oh, the parrot's on fire? Well, that's great, you know. It's like, put it out and, bring on the black bra. But the overall, the overall thing on Zombie Pirates, I mean, since it was a different take on, or a different flavor than what Steve Sessions normally does, do you think it was better? Was it worse? Or was it kind of like equal with Steve's other projects?
I hesitate to answer that question. I have a preference, but that's my personal opinion. I prefer the anthologies he does, but then again, I grew up watching things like Tales from the Dark Side and Night Theater and Creep Show and all that. So I have a particular,
good movies.
I have a particular love of the whole anthology thing with the common
definitely.
thread, and so that's personal preference. I prefer that when it comes to that form of slog cinema.
Okay. Well, it's like, yeah.
Do you remember Captain Lazard?
Privateer?
Buccaneer. He was one of the last of the great pirates. Let me put it in terms you might understand. This is a get-rich-quick scheme. Once you start the ritual, you must see it through all the way to the end. 5 bodies, 5 consecutive nights, the bodies marked for Lazard. And in return, a payment of plundered Spanish coin.
Okay, Sanji. Yeah, it's like he. Okay, yeah. It's like, oh God.
However, it is interesting that Zombie Pirates was recently four-walled in LA.
See, now that's something we've been wanting to look at with some of our movies, you know, particularly Inferno's Wild and Cosplay Madness. We'd love to, and for those of you who don't know, four-walling is when a producer will rent out a
historic theater in this case.
Yeah, well, in this case, a historic theater. But basically, they charge admission to see the movie, and then they keep the profits. With the theater maybe getting a small percentage, but the majority goes to the producers themselves.
It's commonly done for screenings or for red carpet releases. Generally, once it's picked up by the distributors, it can go out to theaters normally.
Well, and another big example of four-walling was the Rudy Ray Moore feature done on Netflix with Eddie Murphy playing the role of Rudy Ray Moore. That was one of his self-produced movie, one of the Dolomite films. It was They Call Me Dolomite, and he four-walled that at a theater in Los Angeles, which helped revive his career and bring Dolomite back to the public awareness.
Yeah.
You know.
Four-walling definitely has its uses, and I would like to see more of it from indie horror filmmakers.
Well, it's like, I mean, is it that indie horror filmmakers can't do it because it's a very expensive process?
It is expensive. It costs thousands usually. However, if, say, for example, if you could have like a mini film festival, get 4 or 5 filmmakers together that have a similar theme and do like a mini film festival, like they have the movie and then maybe a guest speaks about each movie in between. I have seen that in New Orleans and it worked beautifully and it got the word out. People started talking. Actors and stuff were able to use it almost like a networking party, so it was great for the community as a whole. And so I would love to see that more.
And that's what Omaha really needs. We used to have Scream in the Dark Film Festival, although I am loath to give them publicity. But I will say that I had attended that incognito, in civvy drag and disguise and everything.
Where are those human skins again?
Yeah, it's like, you know, well, hey, you know, it's like, let's face it, this, I don't blend, you know. It's like, sorry, you know, unless they're doing like a Little Green Men from Mars, it's like, I don't blend, you know, I can't pass. You know, it's like...
Maybe you should lay off the broccoli.
Well, you know what, it's like...
It really doesn't change the flavor. That's an urban myth.
Yeah, it's all that chlorophyll. I mean, I'm dead zombie monk. I'm part demon, you know. It's like, they set me back like this because they, down below, has a sense of humor. Could have been worse. I could have been bright pink, you know, and then they would have mistaken me for a Teletubby.
Or
Maybe they just watched The Exorcist and they saw the pea soup coming out of her mouth and went, that's it.
That's the color.
That's perfect.
I know. I've
got this.
Hey, I screw up the aesthetics of the room. I know this, but that's my thing.
You were Linda Blair.
That's right.
There
You know,
you go.
I was Linda Blair. You know, but hey, Linda Blair, it's like still looks hot, even though she's close to 60.
I think she's awesome.
Oh, yes, she is. She's awesome. Great. Love her charity work, too.
Oh, yeah.
But the process of four-walling it, how could... So the only way somebody who has maybe released 1 or 2 films, the only way they could do it would be to team up with a group of other producers.
Well, the only way they could do it affordably. It depends on the theaters where you're at. Some theaters won't do it at all.
Okay.
They stick with only the studio system. However, there are a lot of like individual, like Cinema Tavern used to do it, things like that, or the older theaters that it's sort of like an arts thing.
So you might think think that you might have a better chance approaching like a dollar theater or a theater that is an older one and relies on the dollar crowd.
Non-chain.
Non-chain.
That's the best way to
so
put it.
Basically,
like
if
it's an AMC theater, you're going to be less likely to get that than if it's, say, a Cinema Tavern or, you know, a silver screen.
The only thing is everything's digital nowadays, so they would have to have like digital projection capabilities.
If it's in a digital format, yes. However, usually depending on the input, it can be done. I used to manage a movie theater, so slight advantage there.
Well, that's always good to know. Hey, it's like, well, see, it's like we found another resource, another reference, another fount of knowledge.
Yes, I have a brain full of facts that nobody cares about. By all means,
welcome to my world. This is what This is why I'm so much fun on trivia night. You know, it's like
because you're trivial.
Well, that, and you know, it's like, and you know, because I am a zombie, I do eat brains, but you know what? Brains have a funny taste. I prefer pizza myself.
You don't get
What about brains on pizza?
I don't know how that would go. I mean, it's
would you split a brain pizza with me? Yeah. See? There we go.
well, it's like, you
So
know,
you should make it
everybody
happier
remembers
than
the everybody remembers the scene in Silence of the Lambs where Hannibal Lecter is feeding that guy his own brain. You know, cuts it up and hands it to him after he's chopped out a portion of it. So it's like,
even better in the book.
yeah, it's like I have yet to read the books. The movie was bad enough, but the books would probably traumatize me.
The show.
The show
The show was awesome.
I'll have to
I love it. It's one I rewatch regularly.
Oh, it scares Sanji over there, you know. It's like, okay, well, that's high praise indeed. But, you know, definitely put it on the to-do list here. You know, before we go here, we cut some clips from Zombie Pirates. Anything else you want to say about that particular movie? Any special memory that it holds? Anything that stands out from in your recollection?
Just a fun group of people actually doing what they wanted to do and putting it out there for people to enjoy. That is what the movie industry is supposed to be about. It's people wanting to do something to do it.
Okay, and that's, well, yeah, you got to do...
And you got to appreciate that anytime that happens.
Well, anytime you can do, have passion about something, you never, you know, if you have passion about what you do, you're never going to work a day in your life, you know, and I firmly believe, yeah, it's like, okay, quit Sanji's over there fantasizing about these two. It's like, you know what, Sanji, we're going to hose you down with some chopped ice. You know, it's like, yeah, no, we don't need any of that weird Hindi monkey love or anything like that.
Yeah, I think he was trying to mime facial.
Yeah, it's like, he wants a facial, or...
I don't think we have those organs.
It's like, well, you know what, Sanji, it's like, get online, you can find that action in Omaha, I think Craigslist is still up somewhere.
It might have been Buffer, I'm not sure.
Yeah, there you go. It's like, yeah, maybe Sanji needs a grinder or something.
Or Backpage.
Well, it's like Backpage isn't even what it used to be anymore. It's like, damn Trump.
Because the establishment wants to get rid of all the fun.
Well, it's like, remember, friends, support your local sex workers. Sex workers' rights are human rights.
Hey, you know, they did find out something in Europe.
What's that?
When sex workers are legalized, they A, have better health care and therefore less disease, and B, a shockingly high drop in crime rates, especially sexually oriented, a drop in rapes and everything else. So legalizing the sex trade actually is beneficial to the community.
Well, it's like...
It's been proven.
Well, unfortunately, our governor looks like Lex Luthor, so that's not going to be happening anytime soon.
America was founded by Puritans.
Purity, yes, it's that whole...
Pilgrims.
That whole pesky Judeo-Christian Puritan...
Kind of in there in the
yeah, it's like, you know, we could all take lessons from Europe, particularly Amsterdam, you know. Brother Jack, if he ever made it to Amsterdam, they'd have to dynamite me out of there. It's like, I would be dug in like a tick.
You don't have menus in the brothels there?
Yeah, I know. It's
freaking
like
menus.
You know, it's like, big fan of space cake.
I'm sorry, but when I walked in and I went, wait a minute, I can order a cheeseburger, a mixed drink, and a blonde Woos and Chains in the same order? Yes!
It's like, sign me up.
Wow, I had a high bill. Anyway.
And he has. It's like, damn. It's like, well, there go my credit cards.
It was a whole paycheck.
Well, there you go. You know, it's like, hey, I knew I liked you for some reason. But anyway, we're going to be bringing you another one of Dawn's films next week here on the Angry Brothers Omaha Shockorama. So from myself, the Countess Boobula.
Countess Boobula.
That's right. Dawn Duvurger. I'm Brother Jack Angry, along with Brother James, Inferna, Ash and Sin, Lady Tord, the rest of the gang here at the monastery. Good night, unpleasant dreams, and friends don't let friends wear lab coats.
I thought it was friends don't let friends dress as the Crow for Halloween.
No, friends don't let friends wear lab coats, you know.
But they have pockets and you can hide things in them.
Well, that's true, but the hack also wears a lab coat, and, you know, don't be the hack. Yes.
I must plead ignorance here.
Yes, that's better. It's a private
better.
thing, you know. I'll explain later, but
You're talking to your privates again? What?
yeah, it's like
Oh.
they don't talk back anymore. Unfortunately, they just kind of lay there and, you know, they hang there and just
I was gonna say their neighbor is an asshole.
there, and they look at me judgingly. You know, it's like they're judging me. I know.
Of course they're judging you. You hit them until they puke.
Well, there you go. Yes, and when I get drunk, I have a tendency to stick them in the oddest places. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's like, yeah.
Visuals. Visuals.
Yes, it's like some things you can't unsee. So, good night and unpleasant dreams.
Sweet nightmare.
Fun nightmares.